Glorious morning. Man, it ain't so glorious. Kind of chilly. I'd like to talk a little bit about FHA rules. The 90-day, I think it's called a 90-day flipper rule and a 180-day flipper rule, which basically means if you bought the property, you can't sell it to an FHA buyer before 90 days is up. And even more important, if you bought the property, you can't sell it for, in 180 days, you can't sell it for more than 100% of the value. You can do that, but they're gonna require 2 appraisals. And you gotta pay for and the seller has to pay for the second appraisal. Which kinda, I mean, it don't suck, but kinda do suck. Cause these appraisals, man, they be costing sometimes way too much money. I think I done paid up to $700 for an appraisal before, which is ridiculous for a small single family home. And also, they are going to go with the lowest of the 2 appraisals. So if you get one appraisal, say come in at 120, and then you got another one that come in at 115, they're gonna go with the lower one. And it sucks because sometimes I done had situations where the first appraisal, comes back cool, no repairs needed, but then the second appraisal come back like with something simple. Like, for example, I had a situation where one appraisal came back good, nothing needed, and then the second one came back and they said, I gotta paint the handrail. Really? You want me to go paint the handrail so you can come back out to re-inspect and charge me another $200? Because they charge you to come back out. So you gotta pay the initial $700 and then you gotta pay another $200 to get the re-inspection. It's crazy. And that lady, that's this particular house I'm talking about, I ended up having to file a grievance on her because she came back out. She flagged me for a handrail that wasn't painted, right? Which, come to find out, that's not even a thing. Your handrail ain't got to be painted. It could be regular wood. So, which I thought was odd anyway, because I called the appraisal company like, well, hold on, how's she flagging me for a painted handrail? I've never heard of that in my life. And she said, let me look into it. Come to find out, it wasn't a thing, but I had already got it done and paid for her to come back out. But when she came back out, she's only supposed to go look at the handrail and make sure it's painted. She went through the whole house again and found something else, which she cannot do. They're only supposed to go out there and find, re-inspect what they flagged me for. She went in the basement, checking everything else, talking about, oh, she's seeing water by the laundry tub. Like, it's a laundry tub. What you mean? Of course you're gonna see water by it. And she flagged me for that. So I was like, oh no, this lady tripping. And she was just doing too much. Anyway, I ended up getting her off the appraisal thing, and they ended up sending somebody else out. So remember, anything between 91 and 180 days, if you're selling it for more than 100% of the initial cost, you got to get 2 appraisals. So basically, if you bought the house for $50,000 and you're trying to sell it for $100,000 or more, you got to get 2 appraisals. And it could be a headache, but it is what it is. But yeah, as far as the FHA rule, that's it. Some of the things they will flag you for, you wouldn't even think, like, it's just a handrail. But yeah, you got to have handrail. Front porch has to have one. Like, if it's more than 3 steps, two or more steps, I think it's 3 steps. If it's 3 steps, you got to have a handrail going up to the front door. Your paint on your garage, or if you got a wood garage that's painted, it will flag you for chipping paint. I'm talking about, it could be the smallest amount of paint that's chipping, they gonna flag you. They flagged me for like a very minute amount of paint chipping at the edge of the garage. I'm talking about, yeah, you got to get that scraped and painted. I'm like, bro, really? I could paint that right now in front of you. No, we got to come back out. I had a guy flag me because one of the breakers in the fuse box was missing a cover. It was empty, but you got to have a cover there. Flag me for that. Out of the whole house, that's the only thing. Had to pay $200 for him to come back and see that I had a blank cover in the breaker box. It's crazy. Oh, real important. So if you got 3-prong plugs in the house, and a lot of Detroit houses, people just change the prongs, or the outlets rather, the sockets, to 3-prong when it was a 2-prong, but not realizing it has to be grounded. If it's not grounded, when they come, because they're gonna check it. If it's not grounded, you're gonna get flagged for that. And then you gotta go through and ground all the plugs or change them back to 2-prong, and then you're good. You ain't gotta worry about it. So yeah, the sockets, you gotta have GFCI in the by the kitchen counter and in the bathroom. Basically anywhere that's close to water, you got a socket. It gotta be GFCI. Laundry, tub, GFCI by that. Now, as far as how many feet from the wall, I can't remember all that. But whoever's doing the work, they'll know. They should know. Another thing you may or may not know is that the bank chooses the appraiser, the FHA appraiser. The bank gonna choose it. They don't let you choose it. Because if it's just one appraiser, you ain't gotta worry about it because the buyer pays for that. But if you gotta deal with the 91 to 180-day flipper rule, you're gonna have to pay for one of them. So be prepared to pay $700 to $900 for that appraisal and the re-inspection fee, which is about $200, $150 to $200. They all got different prices, so it just depends on who you get. Another thing to keep in mind is that the FHA appraisal is good for, I think, 3 months, maybe 4 months, 3 to 4 months. So that's good because say the deal fall through, and which happens a lot of times, 30% of the time that the first accepted offer that I've gotten, for whatever reason, the deal didn't go through. Whether the buyer's financing fell through, or that's usually actually what it is. The buyer's financing falls through, you know, their credit score drops, they get laid off of work, they quit. It can be a lot of different things, but anyway, say the deal fall through, you could use that appraisal for the next buyer. Once you get another offer on the property, accepted offer, you can use that appraisal for the next buyer, as long as it's within 4 months. You got to pay for it though, but it's good because you won't have to go through the appraisal process again. You already got an appraisal that's approved. Once you do that, once they do what they call a final inspection, when they come back, if you needed anything repaired, it's in the FHA system. So it's gonna be in their system for 90 days or 120 days. And so you don't have to worry about getting another one. As far as being there, you don't even have to be there when the appraiser come. They, as long as you got a lockbox on the property, you know, they'll go in off that. You gotta submit the lockbox code to the appraisal company, and they'll let the appraiser know the code. You don't got to be there unless you want to, and it doesn't make a difference anyway. They're gonna write what they're gonna write regardless how nice you try to be to them. You know, try to get all chummy with the appraiser, they don't care. They're gonna be chummy with you and still flag you for whatever they're gonna flag you with. But one thing I will say, what I don't like is that it's inconsistent. Like, you will get one appraiser to flag you for something and another appraiser that won't. There's no consistency. That's the only thing I don't like about them appraisers. I had a house, I had 3 appraisals on. All 3 appraisals were different. Every last one of them was different. The first one passed. Matter of fact, it was a house on Auto Drive. I had 3 appraisals on there. The first appraisal was conventional. Came back, house was appraised at 165. And at the last minute, the buyer backed out. I think she said she found another house or something like that. I could have kept her EMD, but I ain't tripping. Get your $1,000 back. Second appraisal came in at 135. I'm like, what? 31? That's a huge difference. It's like a $30,000 difference. And I'm like, what? So clearly, I didn't go for that because I'm like, we just got an appraisal, like probably was 30 days prior. And that's another thing. You can't use a conventional appraisal for an FHA loan. Because remember how I just said, you can use the appraisal up to 3 to 4 months, unless it's a conventional appraisal. They won't let you use it. It has to be an FHA appraisal, which is stupid. It's like, what difference does it make? But to them, it makes a difference. But they wouldn't let me use it. So anyway, I had to get another one. Came in at 135. I was like, nah. Disputed it. Didn't work. I was like, nah, man. I'm not doing that. So got another appraisal through a different bank. Came in at 149. Still different, but it was a little closer to the 165. So I think I was trying to sell the house for 160. So that was cool. But it just goes to show you that, you know, they all just seemingly doing what they want to do. Like, what? How you get 3 different appraisal prices? Like, a house sold is a house sold. The comps is the comps. How is y'all coming up with different numbers? I don't understand that. And they come up with different repairs needed. First appraisal, didn't need no repairs. Second one said, oh, you need to do this. Third one, he said you need to do something else. It's like, come on, man. Where's the consistency at? It's crazy. Yeah, and I think that's about it.